Well, welcome. We are already halfway through 2021. Can you believe that? Man, the year has gone quick, and don't we say that every year? Well, it's time for our quarterly ministry update where you hear some of the stories of how God's been at work across the network. It's also my opportunity to remind us who we are and what we're about. You see, we are a network of churches committed to making disciples of Jesus. And our purpose is to help people live life well together in Jesus. To help you, to help me, to help each other live our lives well in light of who Jesus is and what Jesus has done in the context of community. And the reason that we exist as a church network is to strive for three things. Firstly, to continually persuade you and indeed demonstrate that following Jesus, being a disciple, is the most satisfying, meaningful, profitable way that you can invest your life. To follow Jesus is to take hold of the life that truly is life and then indeed to live from that place. Secondly, we strive to teach and model that God's design and desire for following Jesus happens in the context of community. That Jesus rescues us from death, He gives us life, He calls us to follow Him, but in doing so, He brings us into His family so that we become brothers and sisters, His church. We follow Him together, we encourage each other on the journey, and we help each other when it's difficult. And finally, we strive to equip and resource you, to empower you, to give you everything you could possibly need that you might choose again and again to follow Jesus in the ordinary every day. That you might have all the knowledge and understanding, the skill and training, the motivation and encouragement to make decision after decision, choice after choice, to align yourself with Jesus Christ, to choose to please Him in everything. And we're really starting to see the fruit of being a network. In the last 3 months, we have seen baptisms. It was such a thrill to baptize Margie and Eric and Jeremy. There was over 60 of us there gathered celebrating that together. We've heard again and again the fruit of Alpha and how great that was, how much hard work went into it, but also the fruit that's come out of it. And you can read more about that in our ministry update. We've had great men's and women's events, women's breakfasts, the men's pub games, 56 blokes, a quarter of whom are not yet followers of Jesus, gathered together around good food, hearing a good word, playing some great games. Our Connect groups are growing. We have new Connect groups. We have people saying, actually, you know what? I'm ready. I want to join a Connect group now. So some of you are still joining our groups, and that's fantastic. It's so exciting. It's the best way, I think, of living life as a disciple, surrounded by other disciples, being encouraged and built up, perhaps around good food, engaged in good activities, reading God's Word, praying. And if you haven't yet, it's not too late to join a Connect group. And there are new groups being formed. A new group coming out of our Alpha course, doing Discipleship Explored together. Ignition Youth has really, pardon the pun, ignited. We now have 25, 26 youth every Friday night. We also have Ignition Plus on a Sunday that's really cementing itself as a great time for keen, older teenagers to study God's Word, and it's been a really fruitful and enjoyable time. There's some really great stuff happening amongst the youth. Hopefully, God willing, a number of them, 5 or 6 of our youth will head to the leadership training camp coming up shortly. God's really doing something there. So we still need leaders for youth group. If you have any inkling or any passion for young people, any desire to see people come to know Jesus and be discipled as youth, irrespective of your age, do let us know. There's a lot of maintenance and work being done in our facilities, whether it's the awning at Georgetown or simple things like installing a new commercial dishwasher at North, putting in a confidence monitor, doing little things around the place just to make ministry that little bit easier. I know Joe's been working really hard with a lot of people too around the ongoing implications of redress. In fact, this morning I had the great privilege in amongst the joy and sadness of deconsecrating St Oswald's. St Oswald's Church has been a place of great ministry for 127 years in Trevellyn, and although it was sad to close it officially as a church, I'm excited to see how God will continue to use the believers that are in our network that live in Trevellyn and Riverside and around to be light and salt, God's hope and love to those neighbourhoods. So what you'll find in our ministry update email that went out are many stories of how God's been at work. It's by no means comprehensive. In fact, you might be involved in a ministry that isn't even mentioned. We haven't tried to include everything. As you scroll through, you'll see just how much is already there. And please don't stress if you think, oh, I don't have the time to read all of this. That's okay. We just want to let you know what God's doing across our churches. But if you have time, if you can make a steaming hot chocolate or a coffee or a tea or something and you've got some time, it's really encouraging to sit down and read about the ministry and the fruit that we're seeing as a network. Maybe you're still not even sure what Ebenezer Year is, and you can read the update from Tommy and Gabby about what's happening at Ebenezer Year. Maybe you wonder what our mission intern does. Maybe you didn't even know we had a mission intern. But Thomas has written a great insight into what life looks like for him as a mission intern in the All Saints Network. The thing that has encouraged me the most has been the quality of what we're doing together in ministry. In the past, we've done lots of things, and there's a sense of sometimes of it being chaotic or busy, and a few people are doing much. And I know some of you still give a lot of your time and effort to ministry at All Saints. I'm deeply grateful, but the thing that I've really seen change and really come to the fore this year is the number of people across our network that are giving of themselves, who are discovering the part that God has for them to play. And so there's still lots of things happening, but they're really focused around those three things that we're striving for. And we're really seeing the result of people finding the way that they can serve in our network and are being equipped, being empowered, being resourced to do that. And that is really thrilling from my perspective. So really, this is a snapshot halfway through the year, how we're tracking. The next update will in fact be in time for our annual meeting. In the meantime, let's keep going. Let's keep trusting God. Let's keep loving God. Let's keep loving people. As I finish up, I literally just yesterday had a conversation with someone from New Zealand, a chaplain to the Bishop of New Zealand, who's watching and seeing what God's doing in the All Saints Network. I haven't said anything to them. We haven't sent, flares up, look at us, but people are noticing this new way of exploring and doing mission together as churches and paying attention and wondering if that might be for them too. It's still early days for us. We're only 3 years in. We're still finding our way. But friends, this year more than any other, we're really starting to see the fruit of that as we consolidate together and fix our eyes on Jesus and what He's called us to do. So praying for you, keep going, be encouraged through the stories of God's work, and I can't wait to see what we have to share with you and amongst ourselves in the coming months. God bless, and let's keep living life well together in Jesus.